Morning. In case anybody asks if I do city scenes or portraits, no I don't. I just stick to landscapes. I have no interest in the other sort of things. Right, how often do you sit in front of the telly and look at lovely views of countryside that you'd like to paint? I do it all the time. Especially on our Country File BBC programme every Sunday night. It's an absolutely gloriously filmed documentary weekly. And last night I was looking at a snow scene, which is appropriate this time of the year, although not in London, we've had nothing yet. Well, flurry. And it was a woodland scene and it was so void of any warmth. It was a cold wintry scene, but there were just some burnt sienna, burnt umber leaves on the trees left from autumn, and it made a nice contrast. So I'm going to do something like, or try to do something like that in two colours. I've just cleaned a spare tray. I've got black, revolutionary for me, and burnt umber in that corner. And I've got my cup of tea. Here we are. So it's going to be an entirely fabricated one, but based on the memory of last night's film. My phone's going non-stop, so I'll just let my wife answer that before I abort the demonstration and start again. Oh well, we'll start. So, Fabriana £130 paper. These trays, they're food display trays, white plastic. That's all you need to Google on eBay. They're very inexpensive. I bought a pack of 2. They last forever. You know, they're very, very durable and very inexpensive. And I'm listening to the radio here as well. Otherwise, I like to keep up with current affairs. Right, I'll wet the paper all over with the Romance and 2-inch hake. A number of people or artists who subscribe to my channel are very, very good at detail. Smoothie, Andrew Usher, and others, they've got a great eye. I haven't. I paint like this, very rough. I'm ready and impressionist, very loose, free, rather like Stephen Cronin. We're both two of a kind, really, the two pieces out of a pod. But we paint differently, we have different subjects and different approaches, but we use the same materials, the old Romance and method. Right, we'll put a bit of a wash of the sky. I'm not going to use any warm colours in the sky. I'm just going to use shades of cold black colour, and I love black in oil and watercolour and acrylic, the queen of colours. I think Monet said that. This was all dissolved. Let's just get a bit of heavier stuff. So there we are. A lot of that's going to be covered up. Alright, now I want to put some background in, so we'll have that. It's a bit deeper, a bit darker, but not too dark. We've got to keep all the tones separate or different, so let's put in a bit of a background wash here, coming down to the horizon. It's not a tone study as such. I'm just trying to create a painting with a cool and warm colour. So we just put a little bit of a shadowy colours in the foreground here. This will all dry lighter. Right, have a swig of tea. I'm just going to reclip the paper. You try some things different approaches. I do this because it keeps me a bit fresh, because you can get really, I wouldn't say bored, I don't get bored, but you become bereft of ideas. after a while. So you're on the lookout. That's why I love these programs on TV. You can even freeze frame them and take photographs of them. But what I would advise you not to do is to copy them exactly, because there might be a copyright problem. Right, let's just etch out some. It's a little bit wet, but we'll do some creative scraping with a fingernail. Now, of course, if you bite your nails, you'll have to use something else. Nails are tools, the brushes. It's just a bit wet, and the we'll go back over that in about 30 seconds or so. It's infilling. You make a groove and it infills, but that's okay because it's given some dark lines. Look. Okay, so there we are. We've got a bit of a background. Right, I'm going to give that a dry. So mute your sound. Right, not bone dry, but take the shine off the paper. Put a little bit of umber in that now. So just some sort of grasses, but I don't do too much of this because it would detract from the trees and the leaves that I'm going to put in. Right, we'll let that go for a minute. Now, with those colours mixed, I'm going to just do some trunkage. I'm hoping this isn't going to take very long. When your brush splits, as it will, just bring it back together again and carry on. I'll use a rigger on some of this as well. There's some coming down. Right, just a little bit of rigger work on the ends of there, but I'll put in some dry brush over this. I'll put some shadowy foliage, little grasses and stuff sticking up out of the, what I hope will look like snow. Okay. Bit of shadow there. Okay, we go over the other side now. I think put some in the middle. See how much you can do with this hake brush. It's a gorgeous thing to use. Endlessly frustrating, of course, when you pick up too much water. See that the heavier marks send the background back even further. Oh, let's get a biggish one in here. Just using the edge of the brush on the side to give some dry brush effect. Don't worry if you've struggled with this at first, this sort of stuff. I've done a lot of it. As you might think, the years I've been doing it, I should be better than I am, but I'll do some dry brush in there. And we can stiffen up some of the foreground as well. Right, let's put in a bit of, well, have a sip of tea. Right, swig of tea. I'll work a bit on the foreground now while that's drying off. So a bit of heavier black. Just putting these shadows in. Right. I'll put out quite a bit of paint here that I'm able to use. I might have to do more of these. If this works out well, you like it, I'll have a go more. But we'll have one coming across there. Right, clean the brush and we'll put a little bit of warm burnt umber in there. Okay, so a bit more black in there, I think. Yeah, so right, let's get in a little bit of dry brush. Bit more water, just a touch. Then we'll put on some leaves from the autumn. They're still on the hanging on. Just some stuff in the background. All right, okay, clean hake. And we'll have a little bit of a dry. Right, headphones off, mute. Go. Right, rigger time. Don't do too much of the rigger because it'll affect the look of the hake, the spontaneity of the hake, but just put some in. Some coming down from the top here. I'll mix a few, well, there's some brown in the black just for some of this sort of grassy stuff. Right, I'll get the hake, dry it off and smash it up a bit. Don't think you'll do this with your favourite sable, but and get into the burnt umber. Probably burnt sienna might have been a little bit better, but just warming this up a little bit. Right, we could put a figure in there, I suppose. Let's put a figure in, not in the middle, don't put it in the middle. That's it. It just gives a bit of scale. I'll try it. I know one of my pictures I've got my figures sort of leaning over drunken as if they're going into the wind. Got their long coats on because oh no, I don't know. That hat's got a bit big. Quite big coats on. Okay, I'll just put a signature on it, put it in the lighter mount. Right, okay. Oops. So that's working with fresh paint out of the tube. Probably needs a dark mount on it. But anyway, it's more or less from memory what attracted me to it in the first place. There weren't any figures. It was a much colder scene than that. Perhaps the Payne's grey with that bit of blue in it will make a difference. But anyway, it's what it is. I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe these could be a little bit heavier, but yeah. Let's just take a bit of license there and just add a little bit of burnt umber to a bit of dry brush. Just warm it up a little bit. The shadow side of it. I'll just build that one. Right, that's it. That sets the other ones back a little bit further and brings these ones forward a little bit, I hope. So there we are. A winter's day somewhere. We'll call it Headley. First snow on Headley Heath, or something like that. That's a local parkland. Heath, well, about 5-6 miles away. I must go there and take some photographs. But it never looks as I paint it. But there we are, we're making paintings and not photographs. So have fun with something like that. Try 2 colours, but the black for the cool and the umber for the warmer contrast. So see you later, bye bye.